Well, how about we get started looking into the KB security murder? I think I'm going to head back to Karain Village for a little while, if that's alright. Sure, but why? I'm gonna bring the sacred urn back and have some people take a look at it. Oh, that's a good idea. I think I'll go with... No, Mystic Maya, you should stay here. I want you two to spend some special quality time together full of love and happiness. Pearls is so caught up in her fantasy she's forgot there's a murder to solve. I would think she would be more disturbed by the murder, but I think she's off in her own world. Pretty much, even more than Maya is. Okay, Nick, time to get going. Let's get going, alright. So, what do we do now? This dialogue might be optional, but... Oh, okay. It's not optional, it's helpful. And now you're calling us Nicky Boy. Okay, go to the detention center and go to the Delight's household. Tasty Delight. Don't question mark at me. It clearly says I am. But the urn we got back says Ami like it always used to. You're right. How do we tell her? How do we tell her? I'm sure they weren't there before. Maya doesn't know, but 1 year ago when the urn was broken, the repairer... Yeah, we know all this. We know all this. You gave us this exposition at the beginning of the case. It's not like we just started a new case. You gave us this exposition before. The pink splotches is the same... No. It's the same paint that we saw spilled in the basement area. Maya hasn't been back to Karain, well, since the whole Dr. Grey's Anatomy, my plastic surgery nightmare thing, which was traumatizing enough in itself. Channeling Dojo. What's that show? Supernatural, where the sexy lady talks to the ghosts? Exactly, it's Dr. Christian Grey. 50 Shades of Grey. His name probably isn't Christian Grey because that's the freaking name of the guy in 50 Shades, but still. Bang! A gunshot. It was Eeny Miny Meeny Mo. She was the murderer. Literally, the murderer was named Eeny Meeny Miny Mo. No, her name was Eeny Meeny, but it was still bad. Okay. It was still a stupid name. I already told you, it's not me! A sad, pitiful whine tapers into silence that can only mean like one person. It can only mean one thing. It can only mean one person. The thing that I just said didn't make sense because words speak, talk, not come out of mouth right. That's the same guard that's always in the background picture. They don't even change the background pictures from game to game. Well, sure, they make new ones. I like how this still says Damask's hideout, even though we've established that that's clearly not the case. Miss Delight, all I wanted to do was help my dear Ronnie. Yeah, but I guess it ended up hurting his case. Don't say that, Nick. She doesn't need your help beating herself up. Hey, Nicky boy, please help Ronnie. He's not a killer, I swear. My Ronnie wouldn't hurt a fly. Alright, I'll poke around and see what I can find out. Really, are you serious? We're a lawyer, it's what we're trained to do. Right, you know. Listen carefully, Nicky boy. My Ronnie would never ever kill anyone, it's just not in him. I don't think he would either, Nick. Yeah, but you have to admit he's got a bit of a temper to him. It's not that hard to imagine him just snapping and screaming, "Please die!" He would never say that. Anyway, Miss Delight, he might not be a killer, but he's still going around saying that he's a thief. That's just a fantasy for him. Why, though? Why? She's the one living in a fantasy world. Why do you say that? I somehow doubt that you don't have any secrets between you two. I very strongly doubt that. He's so honest that he wouldn't even steal a glance. Well, you were stuttering while you said that, so you don't sound very confident. They can be so different and yet such a happy couple. I don't know. Come on now, Nicky boy, it's not that mysterious, is it? It was love at first sight. Well, that's never a good thing. That never means that love at first sight is never a secure relationship for a number of years. It doesn't mean that the relationship will last a long time. It just means that there's instant attraction. I was at work one day when 2 robbers suddenly rushed in. I'm not the kind to just curl into a little ball in a corner, so I fought back. Robbers? They took me hostage. I was so frightened. They were both carrying these huge knives, and I broke down into tears. Yeah, I would too if I were in that situation. Oh, I think I get it. Did Mr. Delight come running to save you? Yes, exactly. I remember he looked so handsome in that guard uniform of his. He went right up to those 2 knife-wielding... Oh my god. That doesn't look like Desiree. He went up to them and screamed in their faces. Please stop it! He screamed. It does have a surprisingly strong effect on people. Crying and swinging his arms like crazy, he attacked the 2 robbers. Yeah, sure. He was so scared that he was crying and shaking, but he still risked his life for me. That didn't look like her in the picture, though. He may not look it, but in a tough situation. That's why I fell in love with him like he did. I mean, I see now that she has long hair. I don't know if I was just picturing her with short hair. But in the photo, she looked blonde. And she was just wearing a totally different outfit, like with a tie and everything. Oh, Nick, stop crying. She's already been kidnapped once. We don't need that to happen again. Don't be silly. Of course I do. That's where my Ronnie works. So she thinks he still works there, huh? Oh, did he get laid off? Because remember that came up before. Remind me. So either he quit or he got laid off or, you know. That's weird. Also, you see the background, they didn't change it, so the ransom note is still... not the ransom note. The blackmail note is still there because the artists just didn't update the freaking background painting behind the character. Because, like, I bet the programming of this game is, like, really dead simple. Like, there's a set number of character sprites, there's a set number of backgrounds, there's, you know, it kind of made it on a low budget, but most of the budget went into the writing. And I bet most of the code for this game is just the endless lines of dialogue. Just so much dialogue. I mean, I've played other visual novels, so it's not like I'm surprised. You're fine with ace detectives? Well, you shouldn't be fine with Luke Atme because he's a piece of S-H-I-T. Anyway. Why'd she go to Atme's office? She started to get more and more anxious. She went there to try and find out more about the real criminal. The real criminal? Yes, obviously, the real Mask Damask is not my Ronnie, right? Yeah. We just established this. And Detective Atme knew more about Mask Damask than anyone else. Yeah, you were at the trial. He is Mask Damask. So then you went there to ask him some questions. Okay, his secretary said the ace detective isn't in right now. He has a secretary? He's pretending to be a detective so he can be this super thief. And yet he has a secretary. He has, like, a professional detective business. Even though he's a complete scumbag. I want to say scumdog because that's even worse than scumbag. He's a bag of scum. And he's, like, completely neurotic. Or psychotic. I never know the difference between those things. Anyway, oh, my throat's getting dry. I have some green tea. I should drink it. But it's a hot day. It's 93 out, and I turned off my air conditioner so I could record this. So I'm only going to do a 20-minute video so I can turn it back on and drink my tea. What has that got to do with anything? Hey, it's you guys. Oh, it's Detective Gumshoe. Today was a real train wreck for you guys, huh? Sure was, pal. You got Maya saying it. Yeah, I feel for you. Wow, that's not like you at all. I thought you'd be more like, oh, that was great. You guys got what you deserved, pal. Ho 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 ho. Or something to that effect. No, Gumshoe's not really a tough guy. He's a sweet guy. If the gumshoe fits, wear it. Well, anyway, the point is I can tell when somebody puts their heart into their jobs, and I can sympathize when things don't go your way. Sometimes I feel like wrong is the only way things go for us detectives. Wow, I had no idea Detective Gumshoe was such a nice guy. Now, if this little love fest is over, maybe we can start investigating. That sounds great, Phoenix. This must be the CEO's desk. It's a lot simpler than I would have thought. Hey, that looks like a super soft chair. Let me try it out just for a second. Ooh, nice. I feel just like a CEO. Hey, you. Whip me up a cup of some really expensive import tea and some scones. Move it. Ah, this is the life. The victim sat in the... Eek! What a bunch of giggles and laughs. What a laugh fest. I can't hear anything. It's too loud. Oops, you're right. It's written right there. Maya, you shouldn't go around pressing big red buttons. How many times have I told you to read the instructions first? You're telling us? This alarm's connected to the basement guard room. It's used to summon security up here. Really? Then it's possible on the night of the crime. So when the CEO was attacked, do you think maybe he pressed the buzzer? Yeah, I thought about that. So I asked around down there, but they said that the buzzer never went off that night. Possibly because the attackers restrained him. Or they wounded him so quickly he couldn't do anything. Mr. Bullard, the victim, wasn't wearing any gloves, by the way, just so you know. He's like giggling to himself. Hee hee hee. Gumshoe's so happy. He's looking forward to a nice cup of instant noodles when he gets home. Leave the heavy lifting to me. You mean the heavy reading? I guess reading is metaphorical heavy lifting. This file, it's not about any sort of security operations or anything. It's all about Mask to Mask. It's filled with info on him. So it's like a case file. It's filled with incredibly detailed information about his methods and the crime scenes. You know, not a case file, but like information on like somebody who the police want. It's a list. Let's see. Tier of Eminon, 100 thou. This looks like a list of all the treasures that Mask to Mask stole. Why do they have such weird names? Like, Tier of Eminon? Watch it be like an anagram of something? I don't know, they just gave him incredibly weird names. That number sounds kind of low to me. I'm sleepy. It's only 3 p.m. and I'm sleepy. Eepy. This rope, you think it fell out of the safe when it was opened? I don't. Yeah, I think this string shows where and how the corpse was lying. You mean the victim? He was killed by being crushed by the safe door? She can't be serious, can she? Wow, this safe is unbelievable. I bet 4 pearls would fit in there. It's got a bunch of doohickeys attached to it. It's pretty amazing, alright. Motion sensors, heat sensors, weight sensors. Hey Nick, come on, let's open it and take a look. If I broke into one of these, wouldn't that set me down the path to Hoodlumville? Doesn't look like there's anything... Oh, this big painting. Wow, look at that huge frame photo. Or photo, whatever. Tall mountains. The greatest sunrise of my life. This is it? This was his best sunrise? The picture's like taken up by mountains and not sky. This guy didn't get out much. I mean, the sun's over there, but like, whatever. Bookshelf rolling cabinet hybrid. Oomph! I can't get in between these two shelves. Don't strain yourself trying. It looks like the shelves are controlled by a special panel, so I guess it's one shelf at a time, huh? Looks like they're filled with bunches of files. Yes, files filled with data about security jobs they're hired to handle. It'd be a good night's reading if you got insomnia. I was hoping for something a little bit more exciting, like UFOs or something. Yeah, sure. Is that it? Are we done talking to Gummy? No, we haven't even started. Okay, but the thing is I'm not really supposed to. Come on, what about how we put our hearts into our work? Things are really working against us right now and we could need some help. Okay, I'll tell you. Just don't start crying on me, pal. Okay, I won't cry on you, pal. Who is that guy? Oh my god. It's a pretty big fella in his own right. You're not kidding. His corpse was discovered at 9 a.m. this morning. His estimated time of death was 1 in the morning. Cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head, probably an object in his room. It happened at exactly the same time that Mask was stealing the urn, huh? I read urn, huh? As like, her. My brain was like, combined the words for a second. There's... ugh. My head's swimming, I can't read all this text. I'm just trying to skim it for the most important stuff. Nobody heard from him, and when they opened the safe this morning, out he came. Oh, so he was stuffed into... he was stuffed into the safe. Weird. Mr. Billiard. It's Mr. Bullard. So, what happened to Mask? He's at the detention center screaming like a madman. Investigate me again, he keeps yelling. No, I didn't mean Ron. You mean, Detective Atme. Oh, that was great. The guy got what he deserved. Ho, ho, ho. Now that's the Detective Gumshoe I know and love. Think about it. Atme was always around when a calling card showed up, but he always mysteriously disappeared when the heists took place. I was hiding at the crime scene. Heh, yeah, right. That's the lamest thing I've ever heard. That's how you just knew he was a thief. That would explain how he was able to retrieve the stolen item he keeps bragging about. Yeah, he just did that to make himself look like a great detective, that's all. But there's this one thing I can't figure out about his first heist. His first heist I can't anymore. The tier of Emanon. Oh, Emanon is no name backwards. Game. That's corny. Game, that's corny. Y'all know that in Harry Potter, the mirror of Ezered is just desire backwards. You already knew that, right? I hope y'all already knew that. Maybe half of you aren't even Harry Potter fans. I can almost believe there's like a generation younger than me that didn't grow up with Harry Potter, and that's so strange to me. Because, like, I was born in 1999, so... Newspaper clipping added. Prosecutor Godot. I really don't like that guy. The way he used our own evidence to do that to Mr. Delight. Yeah, I think he did that way just because he knew it'd hurt more. That's what my gut tells me anyway. So who is that Java-addicted masked maniac anyway? That's a great line. Java-addicted masked maniac. Prosecutor Godot, he's quite the enigma, huh? The thing is, pal, I never even heard of the guy before. I heard of him just because, like, the Ace Attorney community is always talking about him. That's right, he said this was his first case as a prosecutor. And it's true, according to the records anyway, but no way he's an amateur. He's an Iceman in court, a maverick that give me goosebumps. That give me goosebumps. I don't think your proofreaders got that one. Goosebumps by R.L. Stine? Nobody would talk to me. They all just turned the other way. Oh, I'm hiccuping. So I think I should stop the episode pretty soon. My voice is tired. My voice is really tired. So I will see you guys in the next episode.